A lie has been sold to us since we were little girls, and it's quietly destroying your power. Growing up, many of us were taught things that shaped how we shrink, how we overgive, how we silence ourselves. We were taught that our softness is weakness, our sensitivity is a flaw, our need for connection is neediness, our intuition is overthinking, and our emotions are unreliable. So you try to become harder, colder, sharper, more aggressive, basically more masculine. But here's the thing. Unlearning all these things is the beginning or the start of your true power, because everything you've been trying to suppress is actually your greatest power. Today, we flip the script. We're going to redefine feminine energy, and you are going to learn the cost of abandoning your femininity. And lastly, but most importantly, you are going to learn to embrace your feminine side, your feminine energy, feminine quality. So stick around. For starters, let me be clear about something. When I talk about feminine energy, I'm not talking about pink and sparkles or being traditionally feminine. When I talk about feminine energy, I'm talking about the qualities that are naturally stronger in women because of how our brains are wired. Things like intuition, empathy, the ability to nurture growth, the ability to read between the lines, the ability to connect, and the ability to collaborate instead of dominate. These aren't weaknesses at all, but we've been taught they are. And as a result of that, we have spent decades trying to become someone we are not. We go into meetings and we try to be more aggressive. We suppress our emotions because crying is unprofessional. We ignore our intuition because it's not logical enough. And we literally soften our voice, both literally and figuratively, because we don't want to seem too much. And you know what happens? We become exhausted. We become disconnected from ourselves. We become a watered down version of who we actually are. And we wonder why we never feel fully and truly powerful. Because real power doesn't come from being someone you're not. Real power comes from being who you are, becoming yourself, assuming your true self. That's real power. And that's what we're diving into today. So let's talk about the specific feminine qualities that are your superpowers, and let's reframe how we think about that. First, we have intuition. Women are called emotional when they follow their intuition. But intuition is basically a supercomputer processing thousands of data that our conscious mind can catch up. And it's not magic, it's biology. Our brains are literally wired in a way to pick up on subtle cues, like facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, energy shifts. Your intuition is literally your early warning system. It's you being aware before your logical mind has caught up. And that's not emotion. That's wisdom. Next, we have empathy. We were told that empathy is weakness, but empathy is emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence is the number one predictor of success in every area of life. Empathy means you understand people. You can read what someone needs even before they say it. You create environments where people feel safe. You make people feel they need to be better. You can heal relationships, and that's no weakness. That's influence, that's leadership, that's the ability to move mountains through connection instead of force. Emotional expression. We are told that showing emotions is unprofessional, it's weak and unpredictable. So we suppress them, we hide them, and we claim we are fine even when we are falling apart. But emotions are data. They are information about you. They are your values communicating to you. When you're angry, it means something is not going right. When you're sad, it means something is important to you. It matters to you. When you're scared, it means something you find valuable is probably at risk or at stake. These are information about you. And when you suppress your emotions, you are literally disconnecting from the vital information center of yourself. Women who are truly powerful feel deeply. They cry when they have to. They get angry when they have to. The only difference is they don't allow these emotions to control them. They listen to what these emotions are telling them. Then they act from a place of clarity instead of suppression. And that takes more strength than being cold, if you ask me. Next, we have collaboration. Women are taught that needing others is weakness, that asking for help is failure, and that the greatest power is independence. Yes, Miss Independence. I can do it all alone. Of course, unless through Christ who strengthens me. Yes, then that I can do it alone. But my dear, down here on planet Earth, listen, the most powerful force is not an individual. It's a collective. It's a group of people moving together towards something bigger than themselves. Women actually understand this. We want to build with others. We want to create together. We want to bring people along instead of leaving them behind. That's not neediness. That's visionary. That's the ability to create movements instead of moments. And finally, we have nurturing, the ability to see potential in people and help them grow. The ability to create environments where things flourish. But we've been told that this is motherly energy and that it's confined to caregiving. But nurturing is not only confined to children and romantic partners. You can nurture your dreams. You can nurture your relationships. You can nurture an entire community. You can nurture your team. It's basically the ability to care deeply and to create. And that's your superpower as a woman. I remember visiting a friend once, and the moment I saw her, I realized she's not okay. So I asked her, is everything okay? Are you fine? And of course, the usual answer women give, she said, I'm fine. But clearly, she was falling apart. But all I could do was just sit right next to her on the couch and hold her hand. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't interrogate her. I didn't try to give any form of advice, long or short. All I did was sit next to her, hold her hand, and after a while, she just burst into tears. She cried so hard and started explaining herself what happened and how she feels. And then again, all I did was just watch her cry, listen to her, say everything that is wrong with her. I didn't interrogate her, like I said, nothing. And for a while, she stopped crying and she told me she now feels better. That's when I realized sometimes you don't have to be the hard friend. You don't have to be the superhero. You don't have to be the strong one. Sometimes all it takes is emotional attunement, deep listening, creating space for people to be able to fully express themselves. And these are powerful traits in women. Unfortunately, the world is lacking these traits. So I guess it's up to us women to save the world again. Now let's talk about what happens when you abandon or reject your feminine qualities, because I see this happen constantly and quite frankly, it breaks my heart. You see women so busy trying to prove that they belong and end up becoming hard. They become copies of the worst parts of masculine energy and still wonder why when they achieve absolutely everything they thought could make them happy, they still feel empty. Because baby, listen, darling, you cannot win a game by playing someone else's rules. You find yourself in a male-dominated environment, and the only thing or the first thing that comes to mind is becoming sharper, harder, and more aggressive than them. No, they made the rules. You just happen to find yourself in their midst. You cannot beat them. You can only beat them by being authentically yourself. Be feminine. Women who are reshaping the world are not abandoning their femininity. They are actually weaponizing it as their competitive advantage. So the question isn't how do I become more like them? The question is how do I become more like me? Now the most important part of this video, I believe, how you embrace your feminine energy. How do we actually achieve this? How do you lean into your feminine qualities without losing your power? Here are 4 ways. First, trust your intuition, even when they don't seem logical. Your intuition is your superpower, but you actually have to trust it. Practice listening to your guts on small things first. Which friend feels like they are struggling even though they claim they are fine? Which conversation left you feeling depleted? Which opportunity feels wrong but looks good on paper? The more you trust your intuition, the louder it gets. And the louder your intuition gets, the more powerful you become. 2, feel your emotions without being controlled by them. This is balance. Not suppressing them, not being controlled by them, but feeling them and learning from them. When you feel angry, don't immediately apologize or shrink. feel the anger and ask yourself what boundaries are being crossed. Or when you feel sad, don't immediately distract yourself. Sit with the sadness and ask yourself, what is so important to me that when I lose it, I'm going to feel sad, or what matters to me so much? Your emotions aren't a liability. They are a guide. And the woman who feels deeply and still acts powerfully is unstoppable. Step 3, create connection instead of domination. In your relationships, romantic, family, friendships, professional, whatever kind of relationship it is, practice leading through connection, not control. Instead of telling people what to do, ask them what they need. Instead of trying to prove you're right, create space for understanding. Instead of trying to win the argument, win the relationship. Step 4, and this is actually my favorite. Care for yourself like you're worth it. Your feminine energy or your feminine nature includes your nurturing nature, but it has to start with you nurturing yourself, not in a selfish way, in a fundamental way, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So here's what I want you to do. Stop apologizing for taking care of yourself. Stop shrinking your needs to make room for everyone else's. Stop proving your worth by how much you give. Invest in yourself like you're worth it, because you are. When you prioritize your healing, your growth, and well-being, you show up better in every single relationship. You have more to give, you have more to present, you're more powerful that way. My dear, taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's the most generous thing you can do. So here's what I want you to take away from this video today. Your sensitivity is no weakness. It's wisdom. Your intuition is not emotion, it's accuracy. Your empathy is not softness, it's intelligence. Your nurturing nature is not a sacrifice, it's a choice. Your emotional expression is not unprofessional, it's authentic. And your need for connection is not neediness, it's power. The world has enough hard, aggressive, and disconnected voices. It needs your voice. It needs your warmth. It needs your wisdom, your ability to see people and situations deeply. And that's not a liability. That's your superpower. And the moment you embrace all these qualities, everything changes. Your relationships transforms, your confidence skyrockets, and your impact multiplies. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolutely wonderful video session, but most importantly, I'm grateful for opening your heart to this message, for being willing to see yourself differently. If this resonated with you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more video content on feminine power, self-love, and becoming the highest version of yourself. You are incredible, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.